text like Nike, let me give you a good night kiss.
Where you been? Oh my life. There's a lot of talk that the NBA is soft. But you know what? I don't think it's the NBA that's soft. I think it's the refs. What's up, YouTube? It's Check Like Nike back with another video from Nike's Corner. Today's topic is one that has been getting under my skin for some time now. Any NBA game that you're going to watch these days, you are guaranteed to see a technical foul call. Some of them are legit, some of them are not so legit. Now, I've heard that the NBA changed the rules lately, but I can't find any official report that states what exactly was changed in terms of calling technical fouls. Now, I've seen some crazy techs called lately. Everyone pretty much knows about the ejection with Ja Morant, where he got a tech called on him for interacting with a fan, which even seemed to be rather a friendly dispute or exchange of words, because after his ejection, after being sent to the locker room, he FaceTimed his father and asked his father, who was sitting somewhere near front row, to give the phone to the front row fan so that he can apologize. Say, it's not your fault. The refs are wilding. Now, that's true. I don't know if you guys saw the game where Jason Tatum got teed up for literally clapping his hands.
Tatum.
Calling foul on number 0, Jason Tatum. That's his second personal.
Tatum, this is bogus. I hate this stuff. Tatum was mad at himself for missing the layup. They clapped his hands, and the officials gave him a tee.
There was another incident where Curry's teammate was teed up for celebrating a shot. So what Curry did was, he did the exact same celebration, trying to get teed up. Now, this has to raise some question marks about where the refs' standards are, what qualifies as a tech to them, what doesn't qualify as a tech to them, and why they're being called so often lately. I mean, in my opinion, you just gotta let the players play. When you get into an altercation or you do something crazy or too aggressive, technical foul for sure. They're calling techs on coaches. Coaches are getting ejected. They're calling 2 techs a game on. Players are getting ejected. I mean, it's bad enough to see your favorite player get a technical foul, but to see them to get 2 in one game and have them physically leave the game, especially when there are important games being played that are determining the record for the season or the standings in their conference or whatever the case may be. To throw out players like Ja Morant, Stephen Curry, Jason Tatum, to give these guys techs, it changes the whole dynamic of the game, their star players. Mind you, the reason a lot of fans are watching the games or buying tickets to a game and attending the game is to see those same exact players. So are the refs being a little too unreasonable with the fouls being called? Now, this is coming off of a game from the other night with the Warriors down the stretch. It was a close game. I think 122-119 was the final score. And Draymond got ejected. He had already had 1 tech, and he got into like a little bit of a scuffle, which wasn't even his fault. But both players that were involved got teed up. Steve Kerr was mad about this, as was Draymond, because you kind of got to assess the situation and give the tech to whoever's at fault. Now, I'm not one to defend Draymond Green when it comes to technical fouls, because he's really collecting them. But maybe this time Draymond wasn't so wrong. Now, I don't want to focus too much on that particular event, because there are way worse techs that have been called. Like I mentioned, the Jason Tatum one was insane. He didn't even know what was being called and who it was being called on, because he had a to-himself reaction. He didn't lash out at any other player, and it was something that was reasonable. I mean, he's an NBA player. He wants to play well. He wants his teammates to play well. He wants the game to go in his favor. Why are techs being called so often these days? When digging around, this is all I could find about the rule change, and I'm not even sure it should have been changed. The NBA has this problem. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They like to make adjustments to things that don't need to be adjusted. And then the NBA gets called soft and compared to the 80s and 90s when you could punch someone in the face and not even worry about getting a technical foul call. That's how extreme the cases used to be. You'd literally have to probably punch someone in the face to get a tech. Nowadays, you clap your hands. If you celebrate a good play or are disappointed with a bad play, you're getting a technical foul call. So what they're saying is NBA players have to be robots, no emotion. How much does that take away from the game? And getting ejected from the game, how much does that take away from fans? A lot of players are growing frustrated with the new foul system in place. Kevin Durant spoke out about it after apparently he's been getting a lot of technical fouls called against him this season, more than he's used to. And I don't really know KD to be a guy to pick up a lot of techs, but this season, everyone's getting them. He said that he's not even using foul language that's required to receive a tech. As for Jason Kidd, he was fined recently $25,000 after a Luka Doncic ejection, which is crazy because, like I said, Doncic, he's not a highly reactive player. To get thrown out of games receiving 2 techs And like I said, fans are going to these games to see those people. But how can we not expect them to react when things like this happen? Ja Morant spoke out after his tech, which the ref then went to justify his call. Marcus Smart, who's a little more prone to receiving techs, got fined after his reaction to receiving an ejection. Now, how does this affect the season for a particular player? Is, as you know, you get a 1-game suspension if you receive 16 techs in one season. Now, there's not many players that have to worry about reaching that 16 just yet. Draymond Green is at the top of the list for the season with 12 techs. KD actually has 11. The Warriors also have Jordan Poole on the list with 8. DeMar DeRozan, I believe, also has 8 so far this season. A couple of big names. Now, as you know, if players do something wrong or say something wrong or react in a fashion that is not approved by the NBA, they get fined. Now, is it unreasonable to start fining the referees? Shouldn't there be someone to assess after the fact, you know what? That wasn't a good tech. That wasn't a good call. Maybe they should start getting fined. And we'll see how much they let the players play. Because to me, all technical fouls do is interrupt the flow of the game. The day I was watching a Warriors game a few weeks back where there was so many, not even technicals being called. There was techs being called, there was fouls and this and that, and literally every 5 seconds the game was being stopped. It was ridiculous. You didn't even know what was going on. Flagrants, techs, free throws. It was like impossible to watch. It interrupts the flow of the game. It makes it not fun to watch. So not only are you taking away from players, affecting the way they play and their stats, you're affecting team standings, you're affecting fan interest. What price are the refs paying for all this? Now, I don't know if you guys noticed the same thing this season, and even more so recently in the past 2-3 months, but if it's something that you've noticed, if you have any thoughts, opinions on it, or if you could think of any instance where you saw a tech being called, leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Maybe I'm just crazy. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, Niky.
Nigga, get your ass checked like a fucking Nike.